8 great historical figures who were completely made up. 8. King Arthur. King Arthur has been featured in many medieval romances. He defended Britain against Saxon invaders in the 5th and 6th centuries. There are numerous legends about him and his knights. However, modern historians agree he never existed. The earliest accounts of Arthur date back to the 9th century. 7. Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu's The Art of War is an iconic book on military strategy. Written some 2,500 years ago, it's still regularly quoted. However, Sun Tzu's historicity is questionable. Many believe The Art of War is a compilation of military knowledge. It was likely compiled over many decades by different authors. 6. King Solomon. The Hebrew King Solomon features prominently in the Old Testament. He was the wise ruler of the ancient kingdom of Israel. Solomon is also regarded as a prophet in both Judaism and Islam. However, there are no references to him outside of the Bible. Even if a King Solomon existed, all we know about him are later embellishments. 5. Homer. Homer's The Odyssey and the Iliad are classics of world literature. They have influenced all literary traditions since ancient Greece. But there's zero biographical information regarding Homer himself. Some scholars believe the works were written by different authors. The identity of Homer has been questioned for centuries. 4. Betty Crocker. Betty Crocker is famous for her many recipes, but she's as real as Ronald McDonald. Simply put, she's a marketing invention of General Mills. Her name was chosen because it sounded pleasant and all-American in the 1920s. Her portrait, commissioned in 1936, has been revised several times. 3. Robin Hood. Robin Hood famously stole from the rich and gave to the poor. There are many ballads and stories featuring this folk hero, but no one can say for sure if he ever existed. Folklorists have identified at least 8 vastly different origin stories. 2. Socrates. Socrates is one of the most influential philosophers of all time. In fact, he's credited with founding Western philosophy. However, he never wrote a single word in his life. All we know of Socrates' philosophy comes from the writings of his disciples. There's a good chance that Socrates did exist, but there's no way of ascertaining the truth. 1. Pythagoras. Pythagoras is another vastly influential Greek philosopher. His mathematical discoveries are still taught at school. But Pythagoras never wrote anything that we know of. He may have been invented as a figurehead by scholars. Not a single detail of his biography is undisputed.